So hello and welcome back everyone. We are back with the 343 preview show. I'm yet again joined by Sugato, Anik and Riddhiman today. And we'll be talking about the quarterfinals of the hugely exciting Euro 2020 tournament. There have been quite a few upsets, quite a few standout performances as we have come to expect from international tournaments over the past few years. It's always exhilarating and this time has been no exception. So let's start with the discussion of the matches. We'll be discussing the matches of the first match day today, Spain versus Switzerland, and then Belgium versus Italy. Starting off with Spain versus Switzerland, Anik, you may continue.
So, if we talk about the Swedish side, that they have a different problems altogether. They don't have any injury issues as of now, but in the case of the card issues, they have Granit Xhaka out for the next match. He's suspended. So mostly Zakaria is to start in place of him. So they the Swiss side will start with a 3-man defense and with 2 wing backs along the both wings. That is Zuber and Mbabu. Jan Sommer to start in the goal. Up front, Haris Seferovic and Brine Mbolo will start, and behind them Shaqiri is to start.
Coming to the Spanish team, there may be a one change with Alba coming in place of Gaia, and the rest of the team from the round of 16 will remain unchanged. The Spanish team will bank on Ferran Torres and Morata for the goals. They have been lately in the goals, and
Spain started off the tournament with scoring 0 goals in the first 2 matches. And after that, they turned it around, and now they are one of the highest scoring teams in the tournament, along with Italy. So, in spite, Morata is not so good as finisher, but that gap is filled up by their wingers, mainly Sarabia, Ferran Torres, Gerard Moreno, whoever plays in that position. Along with Pedri behind them, threading in the passes, it would be difficult for the Switzerland defense to stop them. They are a very dynamic team in terms of passing, which was absent in the Russian World Cup or the previous Euros.
Coming to the Switzerland defense, Manuel Akanji has been a revelation against France. The French attackers could not get past him very easily. So it will be interesting to see how he fares against the Spanish attack. Talking of the Switzerland squad, the suspension of Granit Xhaka will be a big blow because he was the standout performer in the last match against France. So it will be interesting to see who fills up that void in midfield and exactly how good a job they can do. Because without Xhaka, they will lack those driving runs into the box and creation of scoring opportunities. So it will be interesting to see if Shaqiri or someone like that can step up to the plate.
So the addition of Busquets in the team after the first matches, it helped a lot to bind up the team and to let the team play well against, as we saw against the last group match against Slovenia, and also the round of 16 match against Croatia. So also, if Spain wouldn't give the Swedish team much space, mainly Shaqiri, the space he requires to move around and create chances, if the Spain team doesn't give him so much open space in the midfield, it will be a good choice for the Spain team.
The Spanish midfield, with the presence of Pedri with his relentless runs and with the balls that he provides in the box, as Sugato previously mentioned, that they have a more dynamic passing as compared to the World Cup 2018. The introduction of Pedri has been a welcome change for them, and also the wingers. Sarabia has been in great form, and Koke also, who takes up good spaces in the box.
Yeah, for the Swiss, the 2 wingbacks are very crucial. On the left, Zuber has been a revelation in the tournament. He has 4 assists in the games he has played. And on the right, the coach has 2 options. One is Widmer and another is Mbabu. Mbabu came off the bench in last match and dominated that wing. If Shaqiri somehow can drop deep or can link up play with them, with Seferovic and Gavranovic coming off the bench, can be very crucial. And the Spain defense has not been very stable. In last match, they conceded 2 late goals. That would be a test for both Eric Garcia and Laporte, along with Alba and Azpilicueta on the flanks.
The Spain defense will be tested if the Switzerland attack can create a lot of chances. However, I feel the Spain midfield has a pretty significant advantage in this matchup, especially due to the facts that the other analyst illustrated the addition of Busquets, Koke taking up a more advanced position than his club position, and also the wingers, and of course Pedri has been stand out. So it will be very difficult for the Switzerland midfield to stop the creative passing opportunities that the Spanish side create. So it will be interesting to see.
The main point of Zakaria to start in place of Granit Xhaka will be tested because Zakaria has played very few minutes in the tournament, and to be honest, his performance is very unknown, and he might be a good thing for the team. He might be a good thing for the team, or might backfire to the team. Like, his performance is totally unknown in the tournament, so his performance is to be tested in this match.
The main concern for the Spanish team could be their defense, with Eric Garcia and Laporte being quite leaky at the back. So possibly the introduction of Pau Torres in place of Eric Garcia could be a change that Luis Enrique may look.
The players to watch out for in this match for me would be, one will be Remo Freuler, because he has been below par in this tournament thus far, and with Xhaka missing, he has to use his experience till now. Another one would be Zuber and Mbappe both. And on the Spanish side, it would be one with Pedri, and another is whoever among Eric Garcia or Pau Torres who starts.
One player that we think we are missing to mention is Alvaro Morata, because the most glaring part of his game that always strikes the eye is his frequent missing of goal scoring opportunities. However, the one part of his game that often gets overlooked is how good he is as a ball recovering forward, and he creates a lot of second balls that his teammates can latch onto. So it will be interesting to see if the Swiss defense, which has been surprisingly disciplined, if the disciplined Switzerland defense can make Spain pay for Morata's missed chances.
For me, from the Swiss side, it will be Haris Seferovic, because his presence in the box has been quite phenomenal against the France match. And from the Spanish side, it will be Jordi Alba. Like, how can we run along the wings and create chances for the forwards like Sarabia, for the forwards like Morata, and the other wingers like Sarabia inside the box?
For the Spanish team, it will be Cesar Azpilicueta, who scored his first international goal the last match. And in the Swedish team, it will be the talisman Shaqiri to fire.
So I guess we should get on with the predictions now. I'll start. As I said earlier, this match, I guess, will be decided in the midfield, and I guess Spain has a decided advantage in that department. If the Switzerland midfield can use their physicality and tactical prowess to thwart the Spanish midfield, it will be a very interesting match. We might have a very interesting match on our hands. But otherwise, I think the Spanish midfield is just too superior in quality to the Switzerland midfield. So I guess my prediction would be Spain 3, Switzerland 1.
I would predict a 2-1 win for Switzerland, because they would be buoyed up by their upset of France, and they will be high on confidence that they can beat anyone they face them.
My prediction would be a Spain 3-1 victory, considering their high goal scoring form recently.
Despite of having high goal scoring form of the Spanish team, I'll go with a 2-1 victory for the Switzerland team, because as Shugoto mentioned, that they have been phenomenal while upsetting France in the previous round, and also during their group stage matches, we didn't expect that much good amount of play from the Swiss side, right? But they have been not at par, but they have been above our expectations in this tournament.
So there you go, guys. 2 underdog picks out of 4. That's quite a high percentage in my opinion. It's hopefully it will be a cracker of a match to start off the quarterfinals of this amazing tournament here. The next match on this match day is potentially the biggest match of the quarterfinals. It's two giants colliding, Belgium and Italy. Although surprisingly, both teams have been kind of underwhelming in the round of 16. So now coming to the Belgian side, many people expected the Belgium side to have a better showing against Portugal side, but the Portugal side largely dominated them in the midfield, which was a little bit surprising to see. Also, talking of team news, there is a little pressure in the Belgium side right now due to the possibility of both Kevin De Bruyne and Eden Hazard being absent for the next match, which will be a huge blow. So apart from that, Thorgan Hazard has been in goal-scoring form. Also, the decision to play Thomas Vermaelen in place of Jason Denayer in the last match against Portugal, was a very good decision because the Belgium defense withstood a lot of attacks from the Portugal attack. So that would give the coach confidence in this matchup. And the Belgium side also has quality everywhere as we know. Thomas Meunier has been a revelation. Also, the likes of Romelu Lukaku have not been able to show their full potential in the round of 16 and the previous match, but this will be an ideal opportune time for Romelu Lukaku to show his true colors.
After a flawless group stage, Italy faced their biggest test in the round of 16 against Austria, and it can be said that they won courtesy their stronger bench strength. On the injuries front, mainly Giorgio Chiellini and Alessandro Florenzi are missing. Instead of that, as usual, predictably, Franco Acerbi and Di Lorenzo are likely to start on the right back. This would be the biggest test till now in the tournament, and we are up for a cracker.
So in the Belgians with De Bruyne and Eden Hazard possibly missing, they may opt for Carrasco and Dries Mertens to start. The Dries Mertens has not been in great form of late. So how he takes up the responsibility with two of the key players missing would be a major point in the match.
So for me, it would be the performance of Yuri Tillemans. His performance in the tournament was not quite up to the mark. Like, he has been overshadowed in the previous matches, and in the round of 16 as well, Renato Sanchez of Portugal just exploited him in the midfield. So it will be quite exciting to look how he starts up against Italy. And from the Italian side, the main player will be Verratti. Like, his passes in the midfield, how he creates more play forward will be looked out for, like so that it would get more chances for Immobile, Insigne to score goals.
When I look at this particular matchup, two things stand out to me really distinctly. First of all, being how exactly will the Belgian midfield, especially Axel Witsel and Yuri Tillemans, deal with Marco Verratti? If Witsel and Tillemans are able to stem Marco Verratti, that is a big battle won, in my opinion, because Verratti is so we can say that the engine room of the Italian side. So if Verratti can be thwarted, it will be a big blow to Italy. Secondly, Italy have been particularly poor attackingly down their right hand side, with Di Lorenzo not being very quite as aggressive as Spinazzola on the other wing, and Berardi having a very lackluster performance in the last match. So if Roberto Martinez must have identified this, and with although Eden Hazard is missing on the left flank, Thorgan Hazard playing as left wing back, and he has ample support in the form of Jan Vertonghen behind him. Also, if Romelu Lukaku can occupy a slightly left-sided position, it might provide a very easy to access channel for the Belgian attack down Italy's left-hand side, and that will be a region to watch out for. I believe there can be a lot of chances created down this flank.
Yeah, in my opinion, the side who takes their goal scoring chances and plays at a faster pace is in the advantage. because and for Belgium, Carrasco is a good option in place of Eden Hazard, but Hazard is on a different level because his dribbling skills, his ball carrying capability are much better than Carrasco. So he would be crucial for them to create chances. For on one side he can release Thorgan Hazard, and on the other side he can create chances for Lukaku. And in place of Dries Mertens, I guess in place of KDB, I guess Dries Mertens will start, who hasn't featured much in this tournament yet and has not given a single good performance. Also in the last season, he hasn't featured much for Napoli. So that would be also crucial for them because they need to provide good support to Lukaku because the Italian defense is it may lack pace, but on other fronts like the aerial ability and strength, they are quite good.
So this match could be possibly depend upon the bench players coming on from the bench, and with Italy possibly introducing the likes of Chiesa and Pessina at the end of 70th, 80th minute. They them against the aged defense of Vermaelen, Vertonghen, and Alderweireld. That could be a major concern for Roberto Martinez, and also Locatelli, who would possibly come in the second half in place of Verratti, who has been in a good form, would be one of the key players in this match.
For me, like on the left hand side of the Italian side, we can see Spinazzola moving up. It will be a great duel of watching him against Munier. Like Munier would be a key player, like so that he could stop the likes of Spinazzola, Insigne from his side to attack. And also it will be a tough situation for the Italian side to attack on because as said by Shugoto and Shubhan, the three-man defense of Toby, Vermaelen and Vertonghen has looked very strong in the previous match. So I think it would be a difficult situation for Italy to even score, despite of not having KDB or Hazard in the first team.
Italy have got one more day's rest, but on the other hand, they have played 30 minutes extra. They have a few aging players like Bonucci, Insigne. That might also be a factor if the game drags on to the extra time, because playing consecutively 2 matches in a short span of time can be difficult for them.
Although Italy are joint highest scorers of this tournament till now with Spain, what can be a potential source of worry is that most of Italy's goals have come from players who start on the bench, mainly Pessina, Chiesa, etc. Insigne and Immobile, their stalwarts up front, have not really featured among the goals, especially Insigne missing a lot of chances. Also, Italy seem to struggle against a physical Austrian side, and that really spells alarm bells for against a Belgium side who are extremely physically gifted. So, situation might be bleak for Italy if they can't score early and they can't utilize their attacking channel down the left-hand side, comprising Spinazzola, because I believe that is their strongest avenue to actually create scoring opportunities and hence score.
So,
Yes.
So starting with the predictions, I believe Belgium would win it 2-1 on extra time. But Belgium, being the perennial bottlers that they have been throughout the previous editions of World Cup and Euros, Italy may triumph it.
For me, it would be a 2-1 win for Italy with the game dragging on to the extra time. And Italy have an advantage in terms of a stronger bench strength once again, with KDB and Hazard injured.
For me, it will be a 1-0 win to Italy upon the extra time, and the key players for me to watch out for in this match will always be Spinazzola and Lukaku.
I believe both sides have very glaring areas of weakness, so I guess it will be a 1-1 draw, including extra time, and I think the match will go into penalties where it's anybody's game. Okay, guys. So that's it from the match day 1 of the quarterfinals of Euro 2020. If you like our content, if you like our previous analysis videos, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down your predictions in the comments below.
We'll be back with the match day 2 of the quarterfinals of Euro 2020. Till then, stay safe and stay tuned.